Hey there, and welcome to today's explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever wondered why some English sentences just kind of fall flat no matter how many fancy vocabulary words you throw at them? Well, it's usually because they're missing their engine. Today, we're unpacking a really fantastic ESL teaching guide that's focused on one massive, absolutely foundational topic: mastering English verbs. We're going to see exactly how verbs act as the absolute engine of your sentences, literally powering every single thought you want to express.
Here's our roadmap for the masterclass today. We've got 1. Meet the English verb. 2. Verb types in daily life. 3. Tenses and agreement for exams. 4. Fixing common errors. And 5. Let's play action charades. Let's get to it. Section 1. Meet the English verb.
Think about trying to build a car without an engine. I mean, the paint might look amazing, the seats might be super comfortable, but that car simply isn't going anywhere, right? That is exactly what happens when you try to build a sentence without its most crucial piece. Take a look at this incomplete sentence. Ahmed in the classroom. Notice how confusing that is? We have a person, Ahmed, and we have a place, the classroom. But what's actually happening? Is he walking in? Is he studying? Is he leaving? Without an action or a state of being, we're totally lost. The sentence is completely broken.
But now look at the solution. Ahmed is sitting in the classroom. So the crucial point here is that verbs are the ultimate fix for broken sentences. By simply adding the verb phrase is sitting, we instantly give the sentence life and clarity. Boom! The confusion is completely gone, the engine is running, and the sentence moves forward. Let's formally define what this engine actually is. A verb is a word that shows an action, a state, a feeling, or possession. It tells us what someone does, is, feels, or has. Think of it kind of like a superhero's 4 core powers. If a word shows a physical action like plays, a state of being like is hot, an internal feeling or possession like has a new phone, you are looking at a verb. It is the absolute powerhouse of your vocabulary.
Section 2. Verb types in daily life.
Let's break down this guide. It's a fantastic, really practical look at how verbs show up in our daily lives. Starting at the top with action verbs. My family eats biryani on weekends. The verb eats brings that whole weekend cultural tradition to life. Then we've got linking verbs. These just simply connect a subject to some information. The tea is hot. The word is links the tea directly to its temperature. What about helping verbs? We will visit school tomorrow. See how will helps the main verb visit tell us exactly when the action happens? And finally, modal verbs. These show ability or rules, like students must wear uniforms. Just look at how these different verb types power everything from eating amazing biryani to following daily routines. Now let's talk about a quick but absolutely crucial structural distinction: transitive versus intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs absolutely need a target, an object, to make any sense. If I just say, Ahmed kicked, you're automatically going to ask, well, kicked what? The answer is the object. He kicked the ball. Intransitive verbs, on the other hand, they're strong enough to stand entirely alone. The baby cried. We don't need an object here. We don't ask cried what. It makes perfect sense all on its own.
Section 3. Tenses and agreement for exams.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly into a highly focused exam prep tone. If you've got an assessment coming up, pay close attention. This brilliantly illustrates how we map out time in English. We start over in the past. We visited Makkah. The action is already done. Then we move into the present. I study English. That's happening right now or regularly. And finally, we look to the future. I will travel to Lahore. The action is going to happen later. This timeline is such a great visual mnemonic. Whenever you're writing a sentence in an exam, just visualize this timeline. Ask yourself where your sentence sits and make absolutely sure your verb matches that exact time zone.
Next up for exam prep is subject-verb agreement. I actually like to frame this as a really simple matching game that you have to win for correct syntax. The golden rule is straightforward. Singular matches singular and plural matches plural. A singular subject gets a singular verb. He plays cricket. Notice that vital S on the end of plays. But a plural subject gets a plural verb. They play football. No S needed. Matching these up correctly is honestly one of the fastest ways to instantly improve your grammar score.
Now let's contrast regular and irregular verbs. This is crucial for your spelling. Regular verbs are highly predictable. You just add ed for the past tense. Jump easily becomes jumped. Super simple. But irregular verbs, yeah, they are the rebels of the English language. They just don't follow the ed rule at all, so you really just have to memorize them. Go doesn't become goed, it changes completely into went. For your exams, I highly recommend making a focus list of these irregular rebels and just committing them to memory.
Section 4. Fixing common errors.
When you're learning a new language, your brain naturally tries to apply the rules of your first language, right? And that can cause some completely natural language transfer hiccups, especially for Urdu and Arabic speakers. Let's look at this first one. A very common mistake is saying, yesterday I go market. But remember our timeline from a few minutes ago? Yesterday firmly puts us in the past tense zone, and go is one of those rebellious, irregular verbs we just talked about. So we fix it by swapping to the irregular past tense, yesterday I went to the market. See? It's a really quick fix once you spot that time marker.
Here's another incredibly common one. I am having 2 brothers. This is a possession error. Because we use ing for active things happening right this second, it feels really natural to use it here. But remember, state and possession verbs generally don't need that ing continuous form. The simple, correct fix is right there. I have 2 brothers.
And our final troubleshooting tip involves modal verbs. Look at he can swims. We just learned about the matching game where a singular subject like he gets an S on the verb, but here is the major exception. When you use a modal verb like can, should, or must, it basically acts as a shield for the main verb. It means you absolutely do not need to add that extra S, even with a singular subject. So the correct perfect sentence is simply, he can swim.
Section 5. Let's play action charades.
Let's apply everything we've just learned into a dynamic, really fun classroom game. Step 1. A student stands up and silently acts out a verb. They could be pantomiming a jump, pretending to sleep, or acting out a drink. Step 2. The rest of the class watches and has to guess the exact verb being performed. I highly encourage teachers and students to try this out immediately. It gets verbs off the textbook page and puts them straight into physical motion. It's a blast.
Take a look at this daily routine quote. I wake up, brush my teeth, eat breakfast, and go to school. Now, what's really interesting about this is how perfectly it proves verbs are the engine. Just look at how many action verbs power a single, normal morning. Wake, brush, eat, go. That's 4 powerful engines driving one single sentence, literally moving you from your bed out into the real world.
Which brings us to our final thought for today's explainer. If verbs truly are the engine of every single sentence you speak or write, what verbs will you use to drive your story today? Will you learn, create, study, or inspire? I really encourage you to actively notice the verbs you're using in your own daily speaking and writing tasks. Keep an eye on those irregular rebels, match your subjects properly, and you'll be a master sentence builder in absolutely no time. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.